The song was I Just Want to Stop. The year was 1978. Hi, I'm Gino Vannelli, and these are the sounds of the time.
Gino Vannelli grew up in a musical Italian family in Montreal, Canada.
My father was a music buff. He had been a cabaret singer in the late 40s, 50s. So, I mean, we always had every latest record, whether it was a Sinatra or Perry Como or Nat King Cole or Big Band or Miles Davis or the new opera singer coming up. I decided that I would fall in love with Gene Krupa, you know, when I was about 9 or 10 years old, and so the drums became a passion of mine. I went for drum lessons for 4 or 5 years, and then I took piano lessons and guitar lessons, and then I studied with certain arrangers, and so I picked up my education along the way.
Vannelli played in bands in high school and studied music theory at McGill University. Then in 1971, moved to New York to seek out a record deal.
It was the era of if people believed in you, they kind of, you know, bought hotel rooms for you. People kind of invested in this new 17 or 18-year-old kid that might do something. After that failed, I went back to Montreal totally crushed. I mean, I really was crushed.
But the experience had helped Vannelli begin to develop his own personal sound.
I loved classical music, I loved big band, I loved jazz, but I loved Latin music, I loved rock music, I loved fusion music. So it really is a combination of so many musics put together.
Vannelli soon tried again, this time in Los Angeles. Once again, he nearly failed, until as a last resort, he physically ambushed jazz musician Herb Alpert, who signed new talent for A&M Records.
And I just stood in front of the gates of Charlie Chaplin Studios, which was A&M Records at the time. 3 hours later, I see Herb walking out of his office across the parking lot. I said, I guess this is it. And I just dropped my guitar and I ran through the gates, and the guard started shouting at me, swearing at me. I managed to accost Herb before he could catch up to me. Johnny, the guard, I later found out his name, started tugging me away, and I just looked at Herb. I said, give me a chance. And Herb said, yeah, hold on, Johnny. And Herb wrote me a pass, come back in 30 minutes. I came back in 30 minutes, played a lot of songs that I recorded later. Next thing I knew, I was on A&M.
Vannelli became a new voice on a thriving singer-songwriting scene.
That is, to me, the hallmark of the 70s. Whether it be, you know, Taylor or Cat Stevens or Stevie Wonder or, you know, Sly Stone or Carole King, they really exemplified the height of pop writing.
Vannelli found success with his original material, but his first big hit came to him from his brothers, Joe and Ross.
I had recorded with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. I was selling out every concert hall. So one day Joe comes to me and says, you know, you're pretty big, but you could be a lot bigger. I said, what do you mean by that? He says, the records have done well without a hit single, but what would happen if you really had a big hit single? I said, well, maybe, but there's a double-edged sword to that, I said, because that would really commit me to doing that again for the rest of my life. And my fans are kind of like open to whatever I do right now. Well, Joe said, I think Ross has got a song that might, you know, interest you, you know. So Ross came over and played the bulk of I Just Want to Stop. And really, I did smell blood in the water, you know, and I said, okay, let's work on it.
The Yearning Love Ballad became Vannelli's first hit single, reaching number 4 on the pop charts, and thanks to its rhythm and blues feel, number 11 on the soul charts. Just as Vannelli had feared, having a top 10 hit did turn him into a singles artist.
I wasn't happy about living from single to single. In the 70s, I had a career where I lived from album to album. And I could live with that pressure. But I couldn't live with the capriciousness, the whimsy, the outright whim of radio.
Eventually, he took a 12-year break from touring, during which time he continued to refine and evolve his sound in the studio. But I Just Want to Stop remains a milestone in his career, giving him his first top 10 single, his first platinum album, and his first Grammy nomination.
I lost out to Barry Manilow. I told him that a few years ago when I saw him in Las Vegas. You stole my Grammy.